Hi, hello everyone. A very good evening to all of you from my side. This is Souradeep Day. This session is generally jointly taken by Vivek sir and me. First half an hour, I tell what is my market view, and the next half an hour, Vivek sir shares his market view. But today, unfortunately, Vivek sir is not available, so I will take around 30 minutes of the session and then I may take 5-10 minutes of question. Actually, there is very little to speak right now in terms of stock selection because the market is in a downward phase. So I started this with the chart, started this session with the chart, and what I wanted to show you through the chart is if you look at the chart that since the this part of the October, uh, we are we have start this deep blue line is the Nifty, and if I look at this, if from start of this October or middle of this October, uh, Nifty has been one of the worst performing markets in the world. Uh, the worst performing has been the Russian index, that is IMOX, and then HSI, that is the Shanghai, that is the Hang Seng Index, actually HSI. This is the Hong Kong Index, and you can see that Nifty then Brazil. So since the period of second half of October, the worst performing markets have been the emerging markets. If I now look at to the daily chart, this is a 15-minute chart, and I look at the daily chart. Okay, and I expand this chart a little bit and go from the COVID period. So this was the COVID low. So if I start from here, you will find that this is uh, US 100 is Nasdaq, and this one is the Nifty IT. So IT indices have done great, but apart from that, if you can see, Nifty still is the best performing index all over the world. Okay, so from that point of time, so this is US 100 is the Nasdaq, which is almost close to Nifty, and Nifty IT has done phenomenally well as the IT sector has done. So you can understand the kind of outperformance India have shown till this point. The difference was quite stark, but now all the and you can see that like with all the emerging markets, India has been coming down. Though we still remain the way outperformer market than any other market. See, since that time, the Kospi is the second best performing market is up 103%, 104% maybe, and we are still up 123% from the bottom in spite of this fall. So this is a kind of a cyclical correction that we are going through. If I go to the Nifty chart, and this time I have put the 200 DMA here. So if I look at this Nifty chart, I would see that this is one of those phases. See, these phases are not actually very rare into the market. This kind of phase often come and go. Would like to show you this phase, especially something like this happened around this point of time. Okay, this happened, and now if you are considering this, this is actually taking place. Okay, so you have a phase like this. So we may fall towards this 16,300, 400 kind of a level, or 200 level, which is 200 DMA. Last time we did not fail, but the previous time we fell to 200 DMA. So we may touch towards this level, and don't get very much excited or fooled by what happened today. Okay, why? Because see, for last since 26 November, it has been like this: one day down, next day down, next day viciously up, then down, then it goes up, then down. It has been directionless and very random. Okay, now it can fall towards this level, but you can again see bounce from here. You never know what may happen. Market has been very bearish. In someone saying no voice. Am I audible to all of you? Am I audible to all of you? Hopefully, am I audible to all of you? Can you please write it down? Yes. Yeah, thank you. So those who are unable to listen to me, please log out and log in. Possibly it will solve your problem. Okay. So what we are seeing that this kind of fall, and if I look at this sectoral indices, you see what are the stocks in sectors that are falling. Actually, Nifty IT is on the up. Okay. Dow Jones is up. USD INR is like rupee is weakening a bit, but you can see Nifty IT, Nifty Pharma, this export oriented sector, because of the dollar strength has been strong, and Nifty IT has been really strong, but all other sectors have been really strong. FMC, those economy, FMC still media, FMCG, all those though is defensive, all those falling, still falling. All those domestic oriented are falling. If I okay, energy, and if I show you can see this is the name. If I show thing, you will analyze and see Nifty charts, activity. So Nifty, I'm starting. Away. Is my voice audible right now? Is my voice audible right now? Please tell me. Yes, yes. Thank you, thank you. So what I was telling you is that see, if you look at the Nifty chart, you can see that Nifty chart is a little bit away from 200 DMA. It can come, but if I go to the sectoral indices like Nifty, FMCG, you can see that we are already below 200 DMA. Okay, Nifty Bank just at 200 DMA, Nifty Realty already below 200. No, it is away from 200 DMA. Sorry. Nifty Auto should be below 200 DMA or close to 200 DMA. Nifty Pharma already below 200 DMA. Okay. So all the indices, if I'm talking about Nifty Infra I think would be a little bit above. Yeah, Nifty Infra, Nifty Realty are still a little bit above because cement stocks and Reliance and Bharti, all these things are in Nifty Infra. Okay. The best index, if I talk to you, has been since COVID, and it still look bullish. It still looks like a breakout today. I had mentioned this in my Twitter account a few days back. So if I go to my Twitter account, I mentioned this, and I told this to my students in the TMP also. So this is the chart I told about. So there is a possibility of a breakout or a reversal from here. So what it did today is that breakout happened, and possibly Nifty IT can move. How much is this? This is 343812 So 7-8% Nifty IT can easily move up. So if I am talking about stocks, Just a second. If I'm talking about stocks, again not audible, someone is saying. I think I'm audible right now. I'm audible right now. Hello? Yes, I'm audible, right? Can you confirm? Yes. Okay. So what I'm telling you is that this Nifty IT looks good. HCL Tech. See, all these stocks are at the cusp of breakout. At the cusp of breakout, you can see HCL Tech. Wipro already broke out today and possibly would turn out to be a good trade going forward. Wipro. Okay. If I'm talking about Tech Mahindra, all the stocks are near the top. Infi also had a breakout today, though it sold off by the end of the day, I think. Infi. So if you are trying to buy, you have to be in this zone of IT stocks, though it did not cross the previous swing high, 1857. But this is what the IT is doing. But apart from that, I can see no sector which is very bullish. Now, one very important and very interesting thing I will want to show you. See, when I'm going to the Nifty small cap 250, which is supposed to be a weak thing in the market, is not down much. It is far away from 200 DMA. So whatever this fall is happening in Indian market is driven by FII selling, and FIIs were very high weightage in the banks, and that is why this bank index have fallen so much. See, this is down almost 15%, more than 15% from this top, like almost 42,000 to 35,700, almost 6,300 point it has fallen, and today's low was 36,600, and possibly this can go to this 34,100, 200 level. So we are having a great correction in the market, and this is healthy because why I'm saying this is healthy. If you see that since the time we had gone out since COVID, there has been no sharp correction. Okay, there has been no sharp correction. This is the first time we are correcting almost 1,500 point into the Nifty, and maybe in the Bank Nifty 6,000 points, and this is good for market because what happens that it takes out the weak hands, and this process may go towards that Nifty may fall 5-6% more, but not a bear market as of yet. See, what events are right now coming in front of you is the UP election. Do you know when the UP results will come out? Do you know when the UP results will come out? Any idea? The UP election results come out in the first or second week of March in general. Okay, so that is the big event that is coming. And why I am telling you is that, see, if BJP loses UP, then there will be a good chance that I'm talking about the political possibilities. Good chance that for 2024 it won't be a preferred. There can be a chance preferred party to win if it loses UP, because UP has 80-85 seats in Lok Sabha election. So in such a scenario, what kind of government can come? Like the possibility would of a kind of government which is a combination of all the regional parties that may come. And when there are too many decision makers, what happens is that decision making process becomes slower, and it is not always uh, like I would say dynamic or capitalist kind of a decision making, and that's why the stock market is not supposed to do very well when there is a lot of party coalition is forming a government, and that's why there is a big risk, and UP election is a big risk if you think right now, because right now the Congress party is not a very strong party that it can win on itself 150 160 seats, and if opposition is forming a government, then present opposition is forming a government, it can be a focal point. It is not in such a position. In that case, what will happen? The regional small parties with their regional interest would form a government, and that will be not seen as a great thing for stock market, and that is why market is fearful, and this correction that is going on may continue in some form. One thing is that market is correcting correcting price wise. Another correction is market is correcting time wise. So though we have already fallen to these levels, and let me measure one important thing. This distance, just a second. Put this. Okay. So if I see this price range was this previous correction uh, was fall of 7,366 point. Okay. So we have fallen right now fallen how much? Let me see. Right now we have fallen till I would say 6,300. So we may fall 13, 1400 point more to match the previous correction. Okay. And if we have to go below in the Bank Nifty, we can go a little bit lower. Next week, Bank Nifty trade is very straightforward. If you see that Bank Nifty is trading below this 36,700, 35,700, which is 200 DMA. You have to play Bank Nifty from the short side. If you see that the Bank Nifty is actually trading above 35,700, you may try for a pullback trade. For Nifty, the levels are similarly. If you see that Nifty breaking 16,800, then you play for 16,300, 400. So below the 16,800, you would turn bearish. Nifty does not look bullish at all at this position, so not sure. But still, it is again near this supportive trend line, so don't know what will happen. All the global cues, everything are important. Here, if I'm looking at StockEdge, sorry, wave.stockEdge, if I go. So what I will find is this. See what kind of selling that is going on. Okay, so I'm going to the monthly data. So you can see that from April they have been selling a lot, but last 3 months combined they have sold almost 40,000 CR. Sorry, 90,000 CR. So 90,000 CR is a big sell number that is coming from the FIIs. And though DII numbers are positive, in last 4 months they have bought around 52,000, but it is much lower than the FII selling, and that is why market is correcting a lot right now. I want to make you look at the global scene also. See, Fed became a lot of hawkish statement 2 days ago, and that's why Indian market is falling. So you could see that dollar again trying to, and this was my target when dollar breached 93. This was my target 97.75, that kind of a level in dollar index. It is trying to make all four dojis, so possibly dollar can uh, actually facing a headwind to go up from here. Possibly it can come. If it falls, we may see a rally in Nifty. We never know. But if it remains above this 96, then it is very difficult for emerging market like India, Brazil, Hang Seng, etc. to rally. Okay. Now, talking about the yields, so in spite of what is happening, in spite of this aggressive taper and aggressive inflation fighting mechanism uh, e- of Fed, and ECB has also raised the forecast of uh, in forecast for interest rate. We see that bonds are quite cool, like 1.39 US 10-year bonds. So what market is believing that after this Fed statement, what will happen? The inflation will cool down, and there won't be a situation where things will go ugly in terms of rate hike. Like Fed has predicted 6 rate hikes, uh, combining 2022-23. So market is not expecting uh, bond yields to go up that much. I want to show you one important thing here. If you look at the bond yields, see this is the trajectory of bond yields. Okay, very important to understand. Like from 14% in 1982, bond yields mostly have been falling. It is very difficult for bond yields to go up a lot. This is the US interest rate, and if you look at any country like India 10-year bond yield, I'm going here, India 10-year yield. Okay, India 10-year government bond yield. You are seeing the same phenomenon that see from 12 13% from 98 we have fallen a lot. We are rising a little, but very difficult for bond yields to go up. Because what happens at the economy matures, the growth rate of the economy comes down, inflation comes down, and for countries like India, uh, any country you can see, USA, all the you can see the German 10-year yield. Okay, Germany 10-year yield. You can see the same trajectory everywhere. Okay, it has been cooling down from the level of 11% in 1982. It has been cooling down only. So it is very difficult for bond yields to actually rise a lot in present macroeconomic scenario, because what happens that to actually the growth is slowing down in global economies day by day, like or year by year, and to push up the growth, government is buying bond. Okay, so if government is buying bond, the interest rates even go down, and government thinks by reducing interest rate, they can push up growth. So this has been the case where we have seen a massive equity bubble over last 40 years, and bond yields, that is the interest rate, the cost of money has always come down. So though there will be a hike in rates for next 2 years that US Fed is expecting, but market thinks that before that there will be a economic slowdown, and then the Fed will stop raising the rates. And that's why what is happening is that US 10-year yield is not going up. Okay, so US 10-year yield is not going up a lot. It is coming down. So this is one good thing. One bad thing that I told you almost every time, that see, this is the point I'm trying to make you, that and I wrote this in Twitter also, because I don't we were not having commodity as part of our TNP, but we have the next batches of the TNP would be actually having a commodity. So we will discuss this as a part of the TNP in future batches also. So what I also wrote this in my okay. So I also wrote this in my December 13, 14. Okay. Yeah, this crude oil. So I told this thing, if you can see that 69.50 to 73 is the range, but in the new year I expect to go to 73.80 zone and then move towards 100. So crude oil, though it is down till the time of the, this year, the year end. January is a seasonally strong month for crude oil, so possibly crude oil it can again go up, and inflation pressure will remain strong in that case. So crude oil is a place of worry. A place of actually breather is the natural gas prices. After falling this much, they have broken this 61.8% level also, and possibly natural gas would cool down eventually towards 2.4, 2.5 if there is not a very harsh winter in the west. So this is one good thing, if from the inflation front. Otherwise, see, zinc future, everything, if you can see, everything is started going up, this due to the inflation thing, due to the supply chain related problem that is happening across the globe due to the COVID. The Omicron virus is spreading a lot, and I will show you an important thing. See, the cases number are again quite high, though the with subsequent waves, the peak death rate is coming, but still it is 8,000. Okay, still it is 8,000, and it is not a very happy scenario. If you see, the highest ever case count in UK happened over the last two successive days, though the death rate has really come down, I would say, because right now the death rate is really much lower. compared to the past, as we are seeing, but still it is a substantial threat. And wherever the COVID is rampant, wherever the COVID is spreading, those countries actually have to actually put some restriction. Thankfully, India still is on lower, but in India, what we have seen over the last 2 years, March, April is the period when the COVID cases are peak. And now this is the problem. See, now the interest rates are going up for some point of time. The supply chain bottlenecks are there, so inflation remains high. Interest rate still remains high. So right now there is no cozy monetary policy. There won't be any cozy monetary policy to push up economy because the inflation is very high. Central banks have to raise the rate, and if the economy slow down, and given the scenario, high inflation, high interest rate is ideal recipe for economies to slow down. And in that scenario you may see a global slowdown in 2022. So I don't think market won't would breach this 80,500 high in a hurry until there is a spectacular result by BJP in the 2022 UP election, and which even then it is tough, but that is the only like window where there can be a very spectacular rally. But I personally don't think that the market can breach 80,600 in a very quick time. It will Anything can happen in the market because the way interest rates and inflation scenario is going up, the way crude is supposed to go up, there is very little scope, I think, for market to again breach this level. And what happens is that until 2024 election gets over, it is very difficult for market to create a new high. And those who know the Elliott wave principle, they know that the 5 wave sequence has completed. So market can easily, and if BJP loses UP, market can easily fall to 11-12,000 kind of level again. But if even if it wins, I don't think it is very easy to break this high of 18,500. So market, though once touching 16,300, can again bounce some 500,000 point, but market overall, it is very difficult to have this kind of a rally, the repeat of this 2022-2021 rally going forward. If you see market never have this kind of straightforward rallies. Market is always this part of this phases, like it will come down, then it will go up, then it will consolidate. So market is never this straightforward. Only after 2000, after Narendra Modi won, there was a this kind of a rally in early stages. But what I would say that from now onwards, it is very difficult. And after he won, like 2018, after 2016-17, this like unidirectional rally also actually have I would say calm down, and market become more or less flatter and cyclical. This is a cyclical market, coming down, then going up, coming down, then going up, coming down. So it is very difficult to trade only in one direction when the market is like that. And see, the present phase is also like this. It will come down, it will go up, it will come down, it will go up like this. So uh, you may not have this kind of phase for next 10 years, not only the next 2 years, this kind of phase where every stock like Balaji Amines, if I'm talking about, uh, look at the kind of rally you had. Tata Steel, and these are commodity stocks. Okay, still see the kind of rally. Okay, Balrampur Chini. So this sweet or honeymoon period in market is over. Okay, this rally, Balrampur Chini. Look at Adani, Total Gas. Look at the kind of rally you had. Look at the kind of rally you had in stocks like Mind, Mindtree, okay, Coforge, okay, BSC, CDSL. So many stocks have actually become, I would say, eight times, 10 times, some in like Balaji Amines, 15 times, 20 times, Tata Elxsi. So Tata Elxsi, if I'm talking about this. So this kind of rally is over. So you will be back to this kind of move, okay? And the moves will be more up and down, up and down, up and down. This phase might have been the best phase that many of you would have seen in your lifetime, and for many of us actually in the lifetime. And this kind of rally only came only because there was COVID, which was a 1 in 100 year event. So in next 30-40 years, this kind of phase may not come. Individual stocks, it may come, but market-wide, this kind of phase, Navin Florin, okay, Navin Florin, okay, SRF. Look at the kind of rally they have. So this kind of rally in stocks may not happen in next 30-40 years. So market will be the normal market. That is always the normal market. Like if I have talking about Nifty, these corrections and going up. So the thing that is very important right now for all of you to trade is that you have to be more. You have to take profit in very short moves, like in 3%, 4% move, you have to take profit, either long or short, any direction. This kind of moves you may not have for many, many years. Okay, next 10, 20 years. So just forget about this. Come back to the original life when market used to fall like this and then used to go up like this. And these are big falls, 11,200 to 10,000, 1,200 fall, almost 10, 12%. And then it goes up maybe 15%. So these are normal market falling 12, 13, 14%, and then going up. These things will be part of life. And when index goes up 12, 13%, you will have some good stocks going up 30%. You have to be part of those rally. You have to take part into this. So this abnormal phase, and many people might have felt very easy, money making very easy in this phase. This phase is over and may not come back in 30-40 years. So please understand this. And please adapt yourself in shorter term profit taking, not having position for very 30-40%, 10%. Start taking profit at 3%, 5%. Start using this 75 minutes super trend as your stop loss in the case you take a trade. So if I so if this 75 minute super trend, so if you are trading with this, try to have this in your trade. So these are good methodologies, even if you're trading in a daily. So Vardhaman retail. So I'm going to this chart now. See, with the help of this kind of tools, you can actually modify your trade. But it is very difficult right now to have this kind of moves like 1372 to 2000 in very small amount of time. Few stocks will always have, even in this market, if you see, few stocks are having this kind of rally that is there. Like Tanla is having, PCG is having very liquid stock, Brightcom Group. Okay, circuit to circuit moves are happening. Okay, so these things happen, but many stocks, most of the liquid counters won't have this kind of moves. So be cautious, and try to take profit at a smaller move. I will take questions. I did not discuss many stocks because stocks are having a kind of a downward bias. So no point buying right now until market settle down a little. Let me take few questions. Okay. And I will take questions from right now, whatever will be written, because many question on the upside is very difficult. Please don't ask me about stock specific question. Okay. See, gold is range bound in the range of 1750 to 1820 for quite long period of time. It is very difficult for gold to breach this zone. So downside it comes to 1750, 1760. Maximum it goes to 1820, 1830. There was a big rally. I thought this breakout would take it to 1960. It did not happen. It pulled back. So gold is mostly in this small zone, 1830, and lower side 1764. Metals are going up because of the supply chain concern. Zinc I showed you, alu, aluminum. Okay, aluminum, aluminum futures. If I'm talking about aluminum futures, MCX. Okay, not coming. This is gold. Okay, aluminum futures. It's trying to go up a little bit due to this COVID thing. And if you can see, they have gone up like a rocket since the COVID had arrived. Before 2020, the normal range was 150. It went to almost 260, came down. Now again trying to go up because the COVID scare is there, Omicron scare is there. Don't know, I don't have a clear view on aluminum. It can again fall from here to the supportive trend line, or if it stays over 219, it can rally. But not having a very momentum move like this or this right now. So not having a very broader view on aluminum. Super trend trading view, super trend with 10 to setup, 75 minutes time frame to super trend. It is you can use this super trend. Okay, in any time frame chart you can use. I'm in the daily chart. I'm using the super trend 75 minutes. This is very easy. Okay, sorry, this is very easy. If you go, if you add here super trend, sorry, if you add super trend here, super trend. Okay, so take the super trend, okay, super trend as the indicator. This is the super trend indicator, okay. So I have added the super trend indicator as you can see. And what I will do is that I will change the specification. So what I'm doing, uh, why super trend is not visible? Just a second. I'm adding a super trend. What is happening to the chart? Okay, and this is the normal chart. I'm adding the super trend. Very peculiar. So this is the normal chart. So already there is a super trend. You can add this normal super trend here, and time period indicator time frame can be different from chart time frame. So I am using 75 minutes super trend here. Okay. Okay. How will be the future of the new age newly listed stocks? I don't know, sir. I don't know. I don't know. This is the answer, question that Vivek sir can answer. I don't have that broader fundamental view of the market. Uh, Hello, sir. Can we use 75-minute ATR super trend if you are? Uh, yeah, you can use this. Parameters of super trend 10 by 2. Okay. Uh, New trend for last 15-20 session on many Nifty 50 stocks. It is moving with a 3-4%. Does it mean that there is accumulation and it will break out in few session? No, market has downward bias. It is not breakout. Rather, we are looking for breakdown kind of a scenario. How to apply? How to play Nifty? Just a second. How to play Nifty this environment? In a environment, you play Nifty through options. Nifty Bank Nifty, you play through the options. See, I will show you. I gave this trade to my TMP students. I will show you. So you have to look at the phases of the market when market is a little bit on the. You have to apply different. option strategies. Okay, so it's TMP August batch I'm going. So I'm showing you the trades. So this was the trade that I had given. Uh, I was looking at this part of the market. Just wait a second. So I was looking Bank Nifty intraday. I'm going. Okay, so going to the intraday chart of the Bank Nifty. So different kind of positions, you need to have different methodology. So what I was looking at this point of time, that Bollinger Band has become horizontal and narrow. Okay, so this indicates a continued low volatility movement. I have taught this to my TMP students. And when Bollinger Bands become very narrow uh, and horizontal, then it is a time that market may remain narrow range bound for some time. So what I did at that point of time, I gave this trade for shorting. Um, Increasing it, 35,500 put and 36,100 call. Okay, so I gave this trade I asked them to short them, and that is the time I gave the trade. So this was a trade given at 11:45. So around here, around this point of time, when I was seeing that market was becoming horizontal. Okay, and see, hey, we continue doing good. Means that time 550 came as profit. Then when it becomes 700 profit, I thought that towards the end the market would again turn volatile, and that was the time was around 1351. Okay, so around this point of time, I asked people to have 400 as their stop loss and 400 as their stop 400 profit as stop loss, and intraday see it had given already 700 profit, and then uh, at 1350, it was at 1309, sorry, 1309, it was going good, and 1351 I was having a feeling that market in last 1.5 hours become volatile. So at 1351, around this point of time, I asked people to book profit in it. At that time, it was showing 800, 900 kind of profit. I asked people who had done this strategy to exit this strategy. So this was like this. In some days, in directional move, we create low cost butterflies and play these kind of moves. So how to play index in this kind of move? You need to look at extreme short term chart and play intraday strategies. That kind of trade I give to my TMP students. Okay, so those who are the part of TMP. Okay, so to answer the question how to play like this, I gave this kind of trade. I give this kind of trades to the TMP to my students who have already completed the technicals. Only those, not to those who are yet to complete technicals, because they are yet to learn options from Chetan sir. Okay. Sir, currently due to selling of FII, my train, the demand support zone are not working well, even at very good support zone breakdown. Yes, that may happen to prices when market is quite weak. Okay. Sir, did the Fed Reserve meeting had an impact of market today? Obviously, and it can continue to have a effect in future coming days. Hi, last session you had shown head and shoulder pattern in Nifty, not last session, quite some time ago, and that is only playing out. Okay, 16,500 was the target. Uh, when is the time you should think the market is going to be a danger zone? I mean, when is the range do you feel we should be wary of? So Nifty is already weakened. So if you call fall as a danger, then it is weakening. That is it. Sir, please explain how to change the super trend to 75 bits on daily chart. I have already shown that. How to process chart. The relative strength, I think Vivek sir will answer when he will be present in the next session. Sorry, I don't use that a lot. So you can ask that to Vivek sir. Sir, can you please explain how to use for booking profit? It will be depending on your strategy. Suppose if you are using super trend, so this is the last question I am taking. Uh, so suppose you are looking at a talk like Sipla, okay, all. So suppose you are short in this stock, okay, or suppose you were long in this stock, so you can exit when once the price actually. So suppose you are long here for some reason. How to book profit when it closes below the super trend? Like if you are again long here for some reason, maybe the previous swing high has crossed, okay, so one, you should periodically book profit. But here, if you're waiting for super trend, you were exiting at your buying position only, but see, it has gone up 5%. So when you have a clean move like this and you are entering early, you can book when the super trend, there's a break and super trend closing. But in some cases, you have to be proactive by booking partial profit. If you wait for super trend to break, see, if you have entered at the break of this previous swing high, the super trend does not change a lot by that time. So that is the point I am trying to make, that if you are, even if you are having a very clean move like this, then you can wait for price to close the super trend. But what I ask my students to do is that in between, whenever the price moves in your favor, suppose you have bought 500 share here, so keep on offloading 50-50 shares on every 2% kind of a move, so that when this kind of a fall or close comes, you only have maybe 150 shares with you. Your ultimate goal is to make profit over a period of time. You don't need to capture the entire move with the 100% quantity, okay? So that is the point. So thanks a lot for joining this session. Have, year end is coming. Have a great year end ahead. Have a great Christmas period of time. Uh, uh, so wishing you all the best, and have a great week ahead also. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks. Okay. Okay. Bye. Take care. Merry Christmas to all of you. We will have a session today. What is the date today? Today is 17th. So we will have a session on 24, which is one day ahead. So we will wish Merry Christmas that day. But the year end is coming. Enjoy life. But the market will have be this kind of varies zone for quite some time. Right now, the time corrections. Okay. So have everything in mind. Don't have shares for quite long distance and keep on booking profit a lot. Thank you. Thanks. Goodbye. Take care.